Hey guys, welcome. Hope you're all having a fantastic start to the weekend. So today we are going to be discussing with ODM, one of the best clans in the multiplayer community here for Warhammer. We're going to be talking about the matchup Tzeentch going up against the Dark Elves. A very interesting one. You can see here, even for you guys, somewhat even to slightly Dark Elf favoured is an interesting one. A lot of you not sure as well, so yeah, it should be very interesting. Mr. CJ DJ, how we doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. We have Elio-san, welcome my friend. They can also do 20 stacks better than Dark Elves. Yeah, 100%. 20 stack, well, to be fair, you can 20 stack both sides, but I'd say Tzeentch can 20 stack better for sure. I don't think there's enough for Tzeentch forces to overcome the range threat. Screamers and throwing X horses are amazing, but I don't think they'll make it past Scourge Runners, Duck Shards, and Cav. Yeah, possibly, my club, possibly. That's yeah, possibly indeed. But I hope you guys are all doing well. If you do have any questions today, please do fire them down below, and I'll be sending them up to myself and of course the ODM boys, so we can try and answer as much as possible. And we'll be mixing people through. So you can see here we have ODM Tzeentch going to be starting as the Dark Elves going up against Rem. And then I'll also be talking here with Mr. Hanadins. So, you know, he'll be able to pop in and give his thoughts during the match. Hey, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. So, just before we kick off here, thank you very much for joining me today. What is your thoughts on the matchup with Tzeentch against Dark Elves? Who here is in favour of Dark Elves and who here is in favour of Tzeentch?
I think Dark Elf is better
Mm-hmm.
in the matchup.
I would say it's complicated for both. There is, I mean, both factions have things that are really annoying the opponent
Mm-hmm.
and can be tricky to deal with them in both sides if you don't have the tools or if you aren't prepared for this.
If you had to pin it down to one specific matchup, maybe the skirmish cavalry, maybe the infantry, what really is the pivotal battle in this matchup that really turns the tides for both sides?
Probably mobility. Like the infantry is pretty whatever, I would say.
Okay.
In the matchup.
Mm-hmm. So you reckon it comes down to the mobility? So, like, you know, obviously Dark Elves having lots of cheap cavalry, lots of cheap skirmish with armor piercing as well. Is that something that's quite helpful against Tzeentch, or what changes there?
I wouldn't say light curve is. I wouldn't say light curve is good.
Okay.
Because you won't kill anything. The light curve of Dark Elf, I mean. Dark Riders, I'm not sure you want them.
But the EV cav is like pretty hard to kill for Tzeentch. The Scourge Runners are also pretty good.
Oh, right.
The armor is hard to go through for Tzeentch, and you can run down all the horrors and whatever, shoot the big targets. So.
All right, gents. What we'll do is, if Rem and Razor, if you guys deafen up, I'll have a chat with Hanadins about the builds, and then we'll hop straight into it.
Okay. I can't enter the lobby right now.
Raziel is not playing its Tzeentch.
Yeah, but
Tzeentch.
Tzeentch. Sorry, Tzeentch. Oh, can Tzeentch not get in, or?
Isn't.
Sorry. Yeah. So we have. How many do we need? We need 3 slots, don't we? Yes. So there should be open slots now for spectators.
Oh yeah. Let me see. Yeah. So you can defend Rem.
Yeah.
And there we go. Nice. So if we have a look at the build here, let's start with Tzeentch. So Tzeentch is going to be going with Malekith. So he's really going to go in with Soul Stealer for the healing, breath attacks as well, and I can't see too much else there because of how this is done. Probably going with none of his abilities. I think all of his abilities still suck, right?
No, he's taking the spell resist. He's taking
that would make sense. Yeah.
The supreme spell shield.
I don't think the abilities of Malekith are shit. Like the gaze is pretty nice.
He also took the circlet of iron for the miscast chance.
Okay, that could be good.
He took both items actually.
Yeah, he took both.
Can see.
He didn't take the Sword of the Destroyer.
That's interesting. I can't see that. But yes, looks like he's going to go with 1 Cold Knight, 2 Dark Riders with shields, Blackout Corsair Hambos, really cheap wide front line. Is that 7 units in total, and triple Scourge Runners. Pretty standard.
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. If we go over to Rem, we have interesting, Knights of Immolation. They these things are like beyond broken. Like I love them. They're so great. Fate Weaver needs one, so we're gonna have Regrowth and Blue Fire. What's the Regrowth for? Is that just gonna be for the Knights of Immolation and himself? What do we think?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. So it's enough.
Okay.
And it's pretty. I mean, having the Knight of Immolation without Chaos and Regrowth is pretty risky, especially when you are playing against Dark Elves, which has Scourge Runners and some AP shootings as well.
And then we've gone with the Warriors of Chaos here for Tzeentch, 4 Tzeentch Cavalry Skirmish, and then we have 5 Blue Horrors.
Yep. I think the goal here for having, I mean, the idea of having Chaos Warrior here is to not, it is to pick them instead of Marauders, because the cheap infantry of Dark Elf is better than yours.
Yes.
And at least with these two, you can have something to kill the infantry.
Okay.
I'm pretty surprised
not
by
die.
I'm pretty surprised by the Knights of Immolation, because I don't really see, like, they can help in the air fight, I guess, but else I don't really see a purpose, because they will, like, Dark Elf will not take any costly infantry.
It's one of those things as well. Knights of Immolation are basically unbreakable. They cannot break if they're in the sky, no matter how low they get, no matter how many models they have. So I'm wondering if just having a tanky unit that can take regrowth and then can also just be a menace in the sky, maybe. I don't know. They're really fast. Maybe it's to deal with or push off skirmish.
Maybe, but they can't really deal with Scourge Runners, I think.
Yeah, I mean, is that
Like
not the Marauder Horsemasters? Would they not keep the chariots away?
I think they are here to kill the chaff most likely and win the mobility fight, but not to screen to chase the Scourge Runners, and neither to fight versus Malekith. I'm pretty sure Malekith will try to hunt them down.
Yeah, I think
during the
kill them,
games.
actually.
The way of killing Malekith for Tzeentch here would be the Skirmish Cav and Chaos.
Yeah. Okay, well this looks pretty interesting. And just for people at home, so we've gone with the double Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch rather than 4 units of Marauders of Tzeentch, because the Marauders don't really add too much because they can't really kill the Dark Elf infantry. Could they not do that in combination with the Blue Horrors? Or the Blue Horrors there just to push off cheap cavalry damage?
Blue Horrors have very low ammunition, so it's a bit of a waste if you shoot it on the Bleak Sword or whatever. I would say.
Okay, well let's hop in then and let's see what they do here. So a couple of questions in chat. Just a quick unwarranted feedback. Looking at your last video, 2 hours 30 is a lot despite one matchup. Maybe thinking if this is going to be a series. Yeah. So think about it. Think about this overall. Last time it was 2.5 hours because we had that amount of time. Today we don't, so it's going to be a lot shorter. I think we have just under 2 hours, guys. Like an hour 45.
We have
like
1 hour. We have 1 hour and a half.
Yeah. So we'll go through 3, maybe 4 matchups if we get it. Amazing idea. I watched the whole thing last time. I would limit it to 20-30 minutes, maybe food for thought. Yeah, so the whole idea is that, these guys are, excellent, and it's not sometimes just talking about matchups, but it's seeing how those units are used in battle and many other ideas. So, like, for example, we saw Globadiers being used from the Skaven side and how well they deleted infantry, but then we also saw on the flip side how much... There's a couple of questions around Rat Ogres and how Rat Ogres would deal with most of Chaos, but then you just see the Skirmish Cavalry just literally hitting home on them all the time. And you get to see the matchup in a bit of a deeper understanding, I guess is the idea. But yes, if you certainly wanted us to do some videos where maybe we could break down some bits and bobs, we certainly could try and do that as well. I thought the limit for Dark Elves is 5 for the cheapest infantry according to the fruit rules. Yeah, so you can have, so obviously they're hybrid. So if you have the Dread Spears and you have the Bleak Swords, they're technically 2 different units, but their limit in total is 8. So you can have 4 and 4 or 5 and 3 in total. Yeah. So looking at these armies, gents, what are we thinking is going to be I'll tell you what, we'll start with you, Hanadin's Dark Elves. What's going to be their objective, considering what we're seeing here from Tzeentch? What's going to be their overall plan, you can think?
Well, they will first try to engage, as I think Dark Elf will do in every games of this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
You have you have the Dark Elves wanting to rush the Tzeentch.
Okay.
Because you can't stand the skirmish, even with Scourge Runners. Just because how efficient are the skirmish cav and the blue fire to kill them, especially with the net of Kyros. And then it will be the main objective for the Dark Elves at the beginning of the battle will be to kill the chariots.
To kill the chariots.
And to have the Corsairs and bows shooting at the skirmish cav if they can.
Mm-hmm.
And for Tzeentch, we'll try to kill the chariots, the Scourge Runners as well. The Cold War Knights will be the main target, I think, for Tzeentch.
And what about you, Razor? Are you seeing anything here otherwise apart from that?
No, I agree with it. I think Dark Elf indeed has to rush. And I think what they want is a late game with Malekith and no skirmish cav. And I think Malekith can really carry hard. He's pretty amazing. Kairos can't do anything against him, so if you have a pretty healthy Malekith at the end and no skirmish, I think it's a win for Dark Elf.
So if we went overcast blue fire and we really upped the AP, so AP goes from 28% up to 44%. Is that something that's going to even the playing field against Malekith, or is that something that's going to be a bit of a waste of mana? What are we thinking here?
Well, good point of Tzeentch now is that he has the shield, the spell shield.
Yes.
So he has a bit of resist versus blue fire. And I'm not sure that Rem will take a look at it, because when you see Malekith Dragon, you know what's coming up.
Yeah, so the Supreme Spell Shield. But that effect increases proportional to the number. So this has changed quite a bit for me. I remember Malekith's items being a bit garbage in Warhammer 2.
Yeah.
They are still not that great, but they are okay.
Pretty niche.
So here we go. It looks like Blue Fly is going to be coming down on the Scourge Runners. So it looks like we're going to go after the skirmish. I don't think that's a bad idea. We can certainly take down like the mobility and the skirmish effect here from the Dark Elves. Wouldn't you want to target that a little bit more on the Cold One Knights, maybe, to begin with?
To reach the Cold One Knights now, you need to be in range of the Scourge Runners, so no.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty
you
hard.
Can't do that. You can't do that right now.
Pretty hard to get to them actually.
So it looks like here Hambos are going to be challenging up against the Marauder Horsemen. I mean, Hambos here also have decent armor, which is quite good up against the skirmish.
Oh, and that was a nasty blue fire once again.
Yeah, that's quite a good one there. All three getting hit.
Rem Micro is a bit sleepy as he misplayed the skirmish cav a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of them has broken here in the backside, and another one has lost its shield and a bit of health. So it looks like Knights of Immolation is still kind of hanging around in the backside. They're not really finding a place called home. Do you reckon it's to challenge up against Malekith?
No, they shouldn't, but I think they will go near the front line to bomber, to use their ability and then move away.
Yeah, so they're kind of hanging around in the front here.
If Rem
Is it
doesn't forget them.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's an early Stealer.
If you do Soul Stealer on the spell shield, do you get any healing from that? That's something I don't know actually.
The Soul Stealer doesn't need to apply damage actually to heal. It does. You don't care of the damage. It will heal anyway, even if you hit nothing.
Oh, okay. So it's like the Marauder Horsemen looking rather destroyed here. One's broken the backside, one's about to break in the middle, getting charged by the Dark Riders, and two in the back are doing okay, but they're only skirmishing Dark Riders with shields.
Yeah. Yeah, Malekith is full HP, is pretty fine.
Malekith's doing well. But Blue Fire shooting at him.
Yeah, but it doesn't really do anything against him.
Yeah.
He has too much armor to really get damage.
So one of the chariots is really low. I didn't see what happened to that one. One of the Tzeentch chariots has really paid quite a bit of troll toll there.
Probably took some damage of the Cold One Knights and Runners.
Yeah, Cold One, the charge one of them, I think. the Knights of Simulation are actually losing quite a bit of model.
Yeah, due to scourge runners.
Yeah, so they're
Yeah,
going to be down
just
to 17 models. So would you still regrowth that, or would that not be enough models for you to kind of think about a regrowth there?
I will regrowth because you have nothing else to regrowth in the army.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
okay, well, it looks like it is
And
going
the
to be a regrowth.
regrowth is coming.
Yeah.
So
The skirmish cav is like doing nothing.
you can see in the middle here, Scourge Runners now starting to get a little bit low on ammo for some of them. When we start running out of ammo, what does that mean there for the Dark Elves? What's the next game plan for these chapters?
Well, yeah, still one is low, but the others is fine, and there is
Yeah,
plenty of infantry to kill.
He still has the crossbows too, to shoot a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like the skirmish is like he has his Dark Riders to screen them still if he wants. So Malekith is pretty safe actually. Like he doesn't have any.
There is only 2 skirmish cav left, and one is dying a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're getting shot
damage.
quite a bit
And they
here by the Hambos.
They will be catched by the Dark Riders.
Yeah, and Malekith is just free like on the battlefield.
I think this is
Nothing can.
probably already over.
Yeah, the Knights of Simulation have no targets. Like they are not doing anything.
Yeah.
I was thinking the Knights of Immolation might have protected the skirmish cavalry a little bit more.
Yeah, but
In
they
that
take
case, yes.
very fast by the Scourge Runners too, so like I don't know if it's worth it to protect the skirmish with such an expensive unit,
Yeah, could agree with that.
because they die pretty fast actually against Scourge Runners. Like only 9 model left, so
So we've got a net going down on the Dark Riders. We have the Gaze of Fate. So they're now going to be getting charged from both sides.
We can recharge in terror. It's well played from Ren.
It's a nice little pick up there. We do see more Dark Riders coming through though, so we are going to need to get out of there.
Yeah, Silkeros is there and can terror them as well, but he's not doing that now.
yeah, the Knights of Emulation are getting the last HP
Yeah.
out.
there
Yeah, now
you
I
go.
think it's GG because like
Kyros is protecting the skirmish cav.
So you can,
there is
you can
very
see
little
here,
ammo left.
even on the floor, Knights of Immolation, 500 health. They've still got 19 leadership, down to 4 now. But when they get up in the air, they have so much leadership. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're actually pretty crazy. But now that they are gone, yeah, I don't think Malekith can die. Kyros is
Yeah,
really bad.
you needed the skirmish there for that, didn't you, really? So you need the
Yeah.
skirmish, because Fate Weaver really just cannot duel in that matchup. Even with his Oracle of Eternity, he just doesn't stand a chance.
No, he will get destroyed. And I think Malekith can still at least do one full stealer, so... Yeah, the skirmish is trying to take the handbows, but they can't win in melee because handbows are actually pretty decent in melee.
So it looks like here the Marauder Horsemen are going to fight into melee combat here. Breath attack going down on both of them.
This is the end of the skirmish cav.
Yeah.
Yeah, this hurts
Oh,
quite
one is black actually. But will die.
Yeah.
Will tear out as well.
Yeah, and now the chariots can just kill all the infantry pretty easily.
Yeah. Got
Because
some
the
bleak
models
swords,
you have-
etc. on the outside. So do you think bleak swords and dread spears are fair and balanced? Do you think they're pretty good for their price, or do you think they're a little bit OP? What's your thoughts?
The red spears are the same as Warhammer 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
fine.
big sword are probably a bit too strong.
Yeah,
I mean, they were fine in Warhammer 2.
like now for their price, they kill pretty much any other chaff in the same price pool. Pretty easily, like it's really strong.
So nice blue fire. They actually did quite a bit of damage on Malekith.
Yeah, he's doing some still.
So now he's going to heal a bit, unfortunately. But there was some. It was nearly 2,000 damage. So it's not bad. You know, 2 or 3 of those, and you could have been looking quite good against Malekith.
And he's doing that again. He's
Yeah, I
preventing.
think it's only when you overcast. Like this
Yeah.
one, this was a normal one, and it takes like 300, 400.
Yeah. so
Malekith is racing, these two are just chilling in the air.
Yeah, now it's pretty doomed.
And now Kyros is the only way. And we can see that casters are pretty broken in the balance of power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, lords in general are pretty broken in the balance of power. Like, you can still see it. It's relatively even, which is ridiculous when you think about it.
Yeah, but casters are even worse. Like even basic casters, they have an insane balance of power right now.
But they take an equation of mana, right, as well, don't they?
I don't really know actually.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a
I
Yeah.
good
just know
question.
the balance of power is broken with them.
I'm pretty sure if you've got a caster lord that's expensive and you have mana, you add that to your balance of power. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, probably. But like now it's pretty bonkers, even for really cheap casters.
So we go with the Dark Elf army, 1.4k there for Malekith, who just wouldn't die. 630 for the cold ones. They didn't really survive. They were targeted quite well, I thought. Chariot's getting 1.1, 900, 1080. So they all paid for themselves, and they were still going with, I think, one with 3 models, 2 with 4 models at the end. So they were doing rather well there. Otherwise, the Dark Riders, good mobility to kind of push off the Marauder Horsemen when needed. I actually thought a little bit MVP were the Black Ark Corsair Hambos. I actually thought they were really nice in that matchup. I actually thought they were a bit of a nightmare, actually.
Yeah, it's really hard for Tzeentch to deal with them.
So 600, 200, 400, 150 for the Bleak Swords, 220, 600, and 65 for the Dread Spears. So Fate Weaver coming in at 1.5, pretty standard for him. I mean, actually it's probably quite low for him, actually. I'm normally seeing him do really well. 1,025 for the Knights of Immolation, really underperforming. Same for the Chariots. The Chaos Chariots of Tzeentch coming down at probably half their cost. Chaos Warriors, 560, 640, so okay, not great. 96, 370, 600, and 550 for the Marauder Horsemen. So they also coming in quite underperforming there.
Well, the two that die early, yeah, for sure. The other one did their value.
Yeah.
When you take a look at it.
So how can you counter the Scourge Runner chariots? Because of course they outrange you with your Marauder Horsemen, but you need those Marauder Horsemen.
I think I went too hard on the anti-infantry here. I did not need the chariots actually. Instead, I should have probably taken a Soul Grinder, which may work against chariots.
That could be very good actually. Yeah, they've got quite a bit of bonus as large, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe a basic Chaos Knight may be better, just because they can actually like swipe most of the Dark Elf army here with their charges.
Any kind of theories behind maybe bringing some Screamers? Is there any reason why you couldn't? Obviously, the Hambos could do a bit of work, but if you supported the Screamers, could Screamers do well here?
Yes, they can, but they need to. They can die to every single shooting units the Dark Elf has, but they can, on the other hand, catch chariots and be efficient against Cold One Knights.
The issue I have is, yes, you send one against chariots, and then you send the Dark Rider unit, and the Screamers are dead.
Yeah, you need to support them for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but then what's the point of taking an air unit if you need the ground unit to support it? Like,
Yeah, they can't really go in.
It's not something you can. It's not something you can do in practice if the player doesn't throw away his chariots 300 meters away from his army.
So the next question is, what about pinks? So like maybe exalted pinks or regular pinks. Exalted pinks have pretty decent armor piercing. It's not terrible. They're okay melee combatants as well, so you certainly could have gone with a front line of pinks that certainly could challenge up against Scourge Runners, Corsair Hambos. What's your thoughts there?
Front line of pinks, no, but some pinks at the back line, maybe.
The only thing that scares me with pinks is Scourge Runner turning into melee mode.
Into melee mode, yeah. Okay. Yeah. And what about having some cavalry? So maybe doing a bit of a. You could even maybe bring a couple of Chaos Knights and mixing in with some pinks.
Maybe one knight is good. I think the Knight of Immolation are probably overpriced for this. Like what I'm thinking currently is that you take a Soul Grinder, you take the ROR Exalted Pink Horror, and you take 5 minutes to shoot at the Scourge Runner with this.
Okay. And what if you went a little bit hard against, say, I don't know if this is in the rules, but like if you went Blue Firecaster plus double Soul Grinders, and you just went, do you know what, screw Malekith, I'm going to bolt him to death and try and take him down on his big dragon.
He may dodge a lot, which scares me. At least in the late game, Soul Grinders aren't great in melee, but they still can deal damage in melee. 2 Malekiths. So it may still be good, especially if you play Chaos. But I think like 2 Soul Grinders, it will mainly secure you definitely versus Scourge Runners.
So a couple of questions for you guys. With Tzeentch Flying Discs being so fast and Lord Slight capability so strong, is Marathi on her flying mount not the best Lord choice? So why is Marathi no longer the best Lord choice anymore?
There is a net, actually.
There is a net on Keros, or on Keros actually, on Keros.
And the armor
There
on
is,
Malekith, very
there
nice.
is a net, and she doesn't like. It's not a blob fight, so her melee debuff aren't that great. Terror from Malekith is very good.
So what about her has changed that makes her not as good as she used to be?
I think she's still good. It's just Malekith is a monster now.
Right.
And in this matchup in particular, like he has armor, so he can tank all the blues and pinks, and Marathi can't at all. So, like, there is no reason to take her instead of Malekith. At least, yeah.
Okay. Logic, you mentioned some hybrid rules that permit 8 cheap infantry for Dark Elves. No. So, Elo, just to let you know, in the rules, these count as they're variants. So Dread Spears and Bleak Swords are a variant. So you can only take a max 5 of the Spearmen, but you can take a max 8 of both Bleak Swords and Dread Spears, but it's a combination. So you can take like 5 Bleak Swords and 3 Dread Spears, or 4 of each, is essentially a rule. So if you go, let me try and see if I can see it on the fruit rules for you. I'm not sure what they call it on the fruit rules. Yeah, so they call it a variant. So anything that has a variant, it will say variant max 8 in the bottom. So, for example, if we take Ungors, you have Ungor Spearman with shields, and then Ungors. Of that trimester of units, you can take 8 of any mixture in total. But of one particular unit, so for example, in this example, Bleak Swords, you can only take a maximum of 5. So, for example, you couldn't take 8 Bleak Swords, but you could take 5 Bleak Swords and 3 Dread Spears. Hopefully that sorts that out for you. So regarding the Lord, then, is this because tankiness over mobility seems to be the way? Yes. Okay. Did one of you guys want to swap in? Are we going to keep the same?
Yeah, I will, because I have to go at 6 p.m. So I can play this one.
Yeah.
If it's okay.
Awesome.
So you are going to play
Whatever.
on the Dark Elf side, or you want to play Tzeentch?
I can play both as you want.
Okay, so please take the Tzeentch side, and Tzeentch will play the Dark Elf, as he has time to do one more as well.
Okay, wait. If he wants to play Tzeentch, he can play Tzeentch. That's the problem.
No, he's not playing them. He's not playing them.
Yeah, I can understand.
Oh, Razor coming in with Bretonia, what a shock.
Pantalonade is starting to infect me.
Is he? Yeah.
He's infecting everyone.
Not Botany. Like, actually, I like the faction, but I find them pretty boring to play, so.
Fair enough. Not gonna agree with that.
Don't tell Pantalonade because he will hate me, but.
Tell him.
Yeah. I'm gonna clip this now, make a 30-second video. So it's Razor against Tzeentch.
Yeah,
Yes.
I will mute myself.
Sweet. Alright. There should be room for you, Rem, to join up.
Yes, I'm coming.
Right, good. Now that Razor's muted, thank God for that. Right, now we can move. So it looks like he's going to be a metal caster. Interesting. Maybe get Tzeentch to chop and change the build maybe a little bit. Or do we want to keep that the same and then see if maybe Tzeentch can bring something different to the matchup? What do you think?
Sorry, I was
No problem.
I'm not able to read a French message and listen to English at the same time.
No problem.
So,
So, do we keep Tzeentch with the same build as the Dark Elves, or do we change it? And then see if Razor can bring something different.
I said to him that they can change it.
Okay.
I don't think it will change a little that much. I think I mean, you will probably still see Malekiths. Maybe not Dark Riders, maybe changing the numbers of crossbows and Scourge Runners. Keeping the infantry the same, probably, maybe a little bit less, but I think it's fine as it is. Oh, Hazel is doing something. Wow.
Yeah. So let's have a quick chat about this, because this is what I like to call a bold strategy. We have the Herald of Tzeentch magic with Plague of Rust and Final Transmutation. I think Plague of Rust is actually potentially a really good answer to all those heavily armored units. Soul Grinder, just the one. Double Chaos Knights with Lances. So they're going to have to be busy boys. 4 of the Skirmish, 4 of the Blue Horrors, and then 2 of the Marauders. What's your thoughts?
I like the Knights, and of course I just said earlier that the Soul Grinder may be good, so we will see if he is indeed good. I don't really like the Metal Caster, because even if it allows you to kill Cold Ones, you don't actually need a Plague of Rust to kill Cold Ones. You can just ram it with your Knights, and with a bit of Javelins and stuff, you will kill it easily. So you still need Blue Fire for the Chariots, because the Soul Grinder, I know for sure he won't have enough ammunition to kill 3 units of Scourgeoner Chariots on its own. Like, he got, what, 10 ammo or 12?
I
It's not
wonder.
enough.
I wonder if you could just, in combination of, so for example, Soul Grinder starts whacking on one of the chariots, and then you use Plague of Rust to help with your skirmish cavalry to get in and deal with the others.
The issue is this, like, I tried to do it in my game, as you saw, like to come closer and put javelins in it. Is that the problem is there is a lot of DPS that will come on the horsemen as you try to close in, and then you will face the Corsair on bows,
Yes.
who will deal even more damage. So the trade is generally losing. Like, it's a big combo that will just impale itself.
So is Malika's magic resist item worth it for this matchup? Yes, it is, especially with the amount of magic presence for Tzeentch. 100%. Yeah.
The only issue about Malekith's item, it's not that they are bad, it's just that Malekith is already expensive, and putting even more money on this, like, your army would look like a little squad of villagers.
I think also, like, obviously taking both of his items, you can get an extra unit of Dread Spears for that, or an extra unit of Bleak Swords for that, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've got to weigh up the options about whether it's been worth it. I mean, he's already tanky enough, right? Is the 20% worth it? Yes and no. Yes and no. If you're not very good at, like, looking after your lord, then yeah, I'd say so. If you're pretty competent at keeping your lord safe and moving him around quite a bit, then you could probably do without it, I would say. Yeah, possibly. So, what do you guys think about like a full kite? So, for example, if we went full Blackheart Corsairs, we also went full kite with just Dark Elves in general. Is that a pretty viable strategy here against Tzeentch?
It's maybe a bit too much. Like, as you saw my build earlier, if he tried to full kite it, I had 2 chariots, the Doom Knight, front line with Silver Shield because of the warriors. And I can turn, even if it's not that good, I can still turn my horsemen into melee. So I think it's a bit, and your army is like smaller because you will have 5 Corsairs who are 750 each. So it's probably a bit risky. Also, like, imagine you screen the Scourgeoners, and then you send a big Chaos Knight in the Corsairs. And all of a sudden, yes, you may answer with a Cold One or whatever, but your kite will stop here because you will probably engage the entire army at this point.
Also, Tzeentch is pretty resilient.
Kites
Due to the barrier. And he might, I mean, you might end up being a kite. In fact.
Okay.
Tzeentch might start to kite you.
Like, imagine you take crossbow volleys as a Tzeentch, you tell your 2 units to pull back as their barrier fall, and you replace them with 2 other units, and you cycle them endlessly.
So that leads to my next question, What's to stop Tzeentch from just going 20 stack, heavy armor, silver shield, and just pushing you? And you go, well, I don't have enough ammo to take that down.
Maybe Malekith.
I mean, the gold cost of having 20 stacks fully armor is pretty insane.
Yeah,
So-
it won't be a 20 stack in the
Yeah.
But like you could bring like a load of cheap marauders with shields. You can also bring some
Yeah.
chaos warriors with shields.
like a lot of warriors with Albert, and then you.
Well, if there is a lot of Tzeentch units, you can be fine because you have chariots and you have a cheap infantry that is winning against. Against Tzeentch.
So-
One.
Lots of damage straight out the door here for Tzeentch. His triple scorcher is taking quite a bit of damage there.
Yeah.
As I've mentioned, is trying to kite, but is being kited at the same time.
Yeah.
And the Soul Stealer is not going to do that much against one skirmish craft. It will be okay against the other units.
So
It's hitting the barrier only.
It's a little bit of a dance at the front here, but for those that are watching the live stream, you'll see my arrows. We have the Black Hawk Corsair Hambos. We've got to be careful here of some of the Chaos Knights, right? Obviously, Chaos Knights can come in, get a good free charge from the Black Hawk Corsair Hambos if they get too far ahead of themselves.
I think he's committing a bit too much. Like he got the range advantage because of the Soul Grinder for now, so he can afford to stay back and shoot at the Scourgeoner as much as possible before committing.
I think also he's suffering about one thing, is that he hasn't healed for the Chaos Knights. So I'm not saying they are bad units, but I think they need to be played with Kyros.
I mean, you don't need heal if you are careful with them, and with this type of strategy, I think you can like you will silence the
I
counters.
think you get a lot of barrier, I'm pretty sure, with the Chaos Knights.
No, you got like 6 or 800. It's not that much.
Yeah, they have
800,
800.
800, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Pretty
significant. I mean, that is a significant shield.
The Lord of Razor is chilling.
Yeah, I mean, I would still like him. Like, imagine if he had Blue Fire now. I think he would have
That was a
probably
nice
silenced 2 chariots at this point.
Yeah.
So good charge in front. As you can see here, the Black Hawk Corsair Hambos got a little bit too far for themselves, and then the Chaos Knights caught them. But they've taken a lot of damage there for that charge.
He needs to punish Malekith now with the skirmish. With the blue, but it's not enough.
Well, mainly the Javelin Cavalry can do it because of the
The skirmish captain needs to do that. Yeah. Also, remember about the Plague of Rust.
Mm-hmm.
It's minus 16 when overcast. If you are playing with 60, yeah, sorry. And when you are playing with warplane units and Chaos Spawn, you can have minus 40 without using any magic.
Yeah.
So actually, if you want to, but that's a nasty final transmute.
Final transmutation.
So good. And also he gets spell mastery, so you're gonna get.
Yeah, Tzeentch didn't saw it, so he's taking full damage from this.
Chariots are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that wasn't overcasted, was it? So.
It was, yeah.
Oh, it was,
But,
yeah.
but there is no spell mastery on the Tzeentch.
So also with the Plague of Rust there with the Arcane Conduit. Oh, he doesn't actually have Greater Arcane Conduit. That's interesting.
No, he doesn't.
Because that
Only
spell mastery
Kyros.
probably goes quite a long way actually.
Only the Exalted and Kyros has it.
So one of the Chaos Knights have been terrified. And the fact that Chaos Knights don't have immune to psychology is just incredibly surprising to me. But they're going to break in the middle.
No, it's fine. Dragon Princes don't have it either. I think.
Who doesn't?
I think the problem with the Knights here is that he just overcommitted them.
Mhm.
And the second one will die soon to the Cool One Knights. Oh, he's taking the charge in the rear. It's not good.
Sad because there is almost no counter left, like there is almost no Scourgeoner left, and just one Cold Wine on Malekith. Like if he had started to send the Knights now, he would have been fine.
He saved them, so it's good.
He threw a blue horror into the mixture, into the old Warp Grinder.
Yeah.
So Skirmish Cavalry now is going to be fighting in melee up against the Hambos. Interesting fight.
Oh, and final transmutes once again,
Pretty
but
nice.
not
That's actually good catch,
not
Malekith, as
overcasted
well.
this one.
I mean, you will kill the Cold Ones.
Yeah, the blue
at
will
some
kill
point.
them.
But
The boost in melee will
he
kill.
doesn't have enough ammunition on his Javelin Cavalry to kill Malekith now. Yeah.
So the nice thing also about his Herald can also keep shooting his way, so he's also a good skirmish.
He has no ammunition left almost.
Yeah.
This is why I think there is probably like a way to cheese it. Like you take 2 Soul Grinders, the ROR, Exalting Pink Horror to give them ammunition back, and you can just chill for 5 minutes and kill all the Curse Runner and
Yeah.
then shoot Malekith.
Well, the Soul Grinder's
Probably
in
so, right?
now, but I think you have to go Fate. You have to go Fate Weaver, right? Because then you get the regrowth for the Soul Grinders. You still get Blue Flame that you can also tap Malekith with, etc. You
Yeah.
also
There
have
is-
nets.
You can, yes, and at the same time you can say that you want the Herald, or the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, because you have 3 already very expensive units, and you need to have something with them.
So this is a nice
So
little
taking a
play.
taking a cheap Lord might be good as well.
Yeah, the Cheap Lord is great because obviously allows you to be
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit wider.
So I think you can think about the 2 options. Oh, and the Lord of Razel is landing. I don't know why.
Because he doesn't have ammo anymore, so it just land on its own.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think it's what happened.
So Malekith there, nice little strategy. Of course, the armor reduction from the Marauder Horseman plus a Plague of Rust being negative 40 armor being quite significant actually.
That is a final transmute upgraded.
So it looks like
And
it's heavily-
Razel is killing his own troop with the
Love that.
army ability. Nice one.
But interestingly here, Balance of Power is massively favouring Malekith here.
Well, there is a lot of Dark Elf units. up
Yeah,
there.
there are a
And
significant
you
amount.
don't have an army on the side of Tzeentch anymore, just 2 single entities.
Yeah, you have 2 single entities that are not good in melee, so Malekith will win the
Soul
fight.
Grinder is fine, but not on its own.
Yeah, it's okay, but
Well, he
can't
can
win
score
against
hits, it's what I mean.
Malekith. Yeah, that's true.
So this is going to be the Chromatic Tome, Plague of Rust going down on Malekith, Soul Stealer. Yeah, it's looking pretty bleak here.
No,
So
it's
that's
Amulet
GG.
is way more.
Yeah. I think that there was certainly brought it slightly closer.
He was a bit too aggressive early on with his knights. That's probably what
I could
killed
I,
him in the end.
Knight with 700 value is not nice.
Yeah, on 300 and 400, yeah. It's not,
Yeah, 700 both.
so I could certainly agree. I think you're right. The Soul Grinder, we needed to get more use out of that before we went in with the Chaos Knights. I actually think 2 Soul Grinders here might have been a little bit better than double Chaos Knights with Lancers.
Either you go for 2, or you take Exalted Pink Horror, like the Arrangement of Renon, that gives back ammunition.
Yes, you
on
could,
the Zorri.
you could probably do all 3 for the same night, for the same cost. For the same cost of the Chaos Knights, right? That'd actually be the same cost.
I mean, I still think you will need like 1 knight unit, because you need that extra ability to clean all of the Dark Infantry.
So 2,200 on the Herald of Metal, so pretty good value there on the Herald of Metal. 1.5 on the Soul Grinder, pretty good. Only 760 in total for the double Chaos Knights. That's also why Chaos Knights just aren't very regularly picked. 840, 650, 560, 600 for the Marauder Horsemen, so they did like okay. Blue Horrors 480, 240, 600, 400. 96 and 120 there for the Marauder. I think actually just drop a Marauder as Tzeentch and just pick up another Blue Horror here.
Yeah, I was a bit short on money, so I had to.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
we were saying that maybe if you went with an extra Soul Grinder and then maybe the ROR Pink Horror, maybe that could have been better. What do you think?
I think if you go double Soul Grinder, you don't need the ROR because you have enough ammo. But 1 isn't enough, yeah. Because I was lacking ammunition and I took too much damage at the end because of the Scourgeners, so I think 2 is the way to go.
Okay.
And the Chaos Knights, I'm not really convinced. I will cut them. Honestly,
I mean,
to take more- maybe
you
just
kind of
Tzeentch infantry.
overcommitted with the knights, to be honest. Like you sent them too soon. They took a lot of damage for nothing.
Yeah, I was a bit too quick on the left one.
Yeah.
Listen, we all get a bit keen.
A bit too corny.
But is that Tzeentch done? Is that Tzeentch finished?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tzeentch is but she's leaving us
Let me send him.
with his 2 wins, 2 wins
Yes.
as Dark Elves,
He'll be
living like a Chad.
yeah, he'll be making Patelanard very, very proud.
Yeah. But yeah.
So, all right. So now we've seen the 2 matchups. We've already seen that the skirmish presence of the Dark Elves is really powerful in this matchup. Blackout Corsair Hambos, and then most importantly, it's those chariots. The chariots still got decent value, even if they got targeted pretty hard. And then Malekith is a big problem.
Yeah,
They got targeted hard, but they weren't killed.
Yes.
So they
Yeah,
still
but
generate
it's really hard to
value.
kill them actually. You do a lot of damage, but the models are still there, so the damage output is.
Funny enough, I think if you have gone for a Blue Fire Caster with your Soul Grinder, you would have killed 2 chariots very quickly.
Yeah, maybe.
So we were thinking maybe taking Fate Weaver as well, because then you have Regrowth to heal your Soul Grinders, you have Blue Fire to attack, and then you also come with a net. So you can have that kind of triple threat to attack.
The problem is that at the end, you have to fight Malekith, and Soul Grinders are actually pretty trash in melee, if I'm honest.
I mean,
Like,
42 can do it.
Well, I mean, you could also net Malekith and just blast him out of the sky, right? You could Blue Fire him. You could net him Blue Fire and then hit him with the range tools. If you catch them making a mistake, that is, of course.
Or
thing that
you
if
have
take,
to.
the Soul Grinder and the Big Bird, it's already a lot of money, so I don't have all the other tools I would want. But
That would be the same cost as, like, for example, if you like drop the double Chaos Knights with Lancers, and then you could play it a little bit more like that, maybe.
yeah, maybe you go more kite and you use all the ammunition and then you take the fight.
Because that way you have like good consistent tools to challenge the chariots, good consistent tools to keep Malekith at bay and stop Malekith being a nightmare.
Yeah, it could work. It's a bit gambly,
Yes.
like a bit of gamble, but yeah, it could work for sure.
I also think that the other problem on top of that then becomes the Corsair Hambos. I think Corsair Hambos are a really underrated MVP in this matchup because they really help deal with the skirmish cavalry and they keep a lot of infantry at bay as well. And they're just so difficult, just being decently armored and decently priced.
Yeah, I think it's an underrated unit, like in many matchups. It's really
They are very good against Chaos, against Tzeentch as we saw, and against Chaos and Slaanesh in general as well, because they don't care about the skirmish cap and the 600 cap.
Right, so Hadadins, you are the elf legend, so get in there. Come on.
I'm the Elf Legend.
Yeah.
Why?
When
I don't know. Every time I see you playing elves. I don't know.
I'm not loopy, you know.
Actually, that's true. That's true. That man made a whole mod for the elves. So. Fair.
Oh, and he's still doing them.
Yeah. Oh.
He's an elf fanatic.
So you have to play Dark Elves, right?
Yes. Because no, Rem, were you Tzeentch before?
We
yeah,
can
but
both
I'm
play
fine doing
both
it
actions
again.
actually.
You could play one way and then we can switch it for the next one. Come join me, Razel. Come join me in
No, I'm
the.
sorry, I have to go right now.
No.
Sorry, I had little time today. Sorry.
Okay, fair enough. I'll let you off. I'll cast on my own. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's okay.
I'm sorry. But you need to. It's Panta's fault. Like he's never there.
It's true. It is Pantanal's fault. For a man, the myth, the legend that is like a legend in Battlemania, where the fuck has he been? Where has he been?
He makes us believe he's working, but we'll know like.
Oh, we know he doesn't work.
Yeah, we know that Bretonian never work actually. So.
He's at home 24/7 trying to make the Bretonians work. You know how it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's just watching the trailer again and again. But,
Exactly. Just hoping there's going to be another DLC that nobody wants.
Yeah, well, there's nothing to do. Like he still wants Alberic to be strong, so I think he's a lost cause.
I love how much in Warhammer 2 he tried to make that work, and I was like, I hate Alberic in almost every matchup that Leon Kerr could do better in.
Yeah, well, Alberic is not very liked by CA, so one day maybe.
Maybe. Alright, dude. Well, thanks for playing, and we'll catch you soon.
Thanks, Logic. And maybe next stream, we'll see.
Yes.
See you.
Yeah.
So I think as it's the three of us, I'll discuss with you guys individually and have the other one. I'll deafen you guys when I talk to the other one about the build. So just make your builds and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Okay, so I'll start with Rem. So that's server deafen and server mute for Hanadins because he deserves it. So Rem, you've gone here with the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch.
Yeah, I want to try something with summon. Also, I need a cheap lord.
Yeah, and also you have the Chaos Spawn summon, which is quite interesting as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Pink fire,
Okay.
blue fire, pretty decent. Yeah, he's pretty damn cheap, and he's going to be on a disc, right?
Yes, he's on a disc.
Cool. So you've got one Soul Grinder, one Blazing Squealer, which still have, I think, pretty decent AP. Let's have a look.
Yeah, but they're mainly here to replenish the ammunition of the other Soul Grinder.
Yeah, they're also
This
going to
kind
give that Warp Flame as well, so you can Warp Flame something, and then also, kind of, buffer it with the Blue Horrors and also the Marauder Horsemen. So what's the rationale behind the Chaos Warriors rather than going more Blue Horrors or more Marauders?
I like them because it's a good insurance against the infantry of the Dark Elf.
Right. Okay.
Every time they perform well. If you saw my first game, they were the two last unit to remain here, and they killed a good amount of stuff. Even if they were bullied by Chariot on many funny stuff like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, let me chat with Hanadins, and then I'll speak to you in a bit.
Sure.
All right, Mr. Hanadins. So we're going to be seeing an interesting pick from you. We're going to be having the K-Knight Assassin. Talk to me about that. So he's obviously got Web of Shadows, still pretty strong. Not quite Warhammer 2 strong, but still strong. And then Assassin's Trophy.
The idea is to be annoying for the Lord if the Lord is chilling around my army and trying to cast spells and such, even if the Scourgerunners are not there. And sometimes these matchups can go into a late game where the Assassins is really helpful. So his goal is to survive at the beginning, to be a bit annoying, and to still have the threat of the Web of Shadows that is annoying Tzeentch player because it makes the dive dangerous.
And you've only gone with one Scourge Runner.
Yeah.
But you've also brought a Harpy.
Yeah.
That
it is.
Just to support Malekith, or?
No, I think Malekith is fired on his own. I just want something cheap. I mean, I had the good left at the end. I was hesitating about picking another infantry, but then I'm like, if I have something cheap and that can dive into, I don't know, maybe famous Inquirers, just send the pick the units on them.
Okay.
Or on any glory fights. I don't know.
We will see. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'll definitely meet you up, and then I'll see you afterwards.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna pop in here. So if you guys have any questions, hey, Caradoc, how you doing, buddy? Can you use flamers, or are they just crush and defeat? Yeah, we got booted, didn't we? Yeah, we'll have to reset that lobby. Just lobby reset, gents. I got booted.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Still haven't fixed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, just join up when you're ready. Map is set and everything. So.
Of course.
Cool. We'll wait for the gents to pop back in. Hey guys, how you doing? can use flamers, or they get shot to pieces deleted by Malekith. They'll get shot to pieces. They sadly just don't have the range. So if we look here at where are they? Here we go. Flamers. So flamers 90 range. So they can do okay, but they're so glass cannon. They get caught by any cavalry. They get caught by anything in melee. They just die. Like 12 melee defense. They're so glass cannon with 3,000 health. Maybe an exalted flamer could be a discussion. That actually might be something we'll bring up afterwards. We can certainly talk about that for sure. Mr. Caradoc, how are we doing, my friend? Are we doing well? They may get shot down by the range. Yes, exactly. Exactly as Rem said, yeah. They'll get shot down by the range. How is the Medusa doing in this matchup? So the Medusa just feels to me like too much of an overinvestment. So things like cheap Blackheart Corsairs that have a bit of kite, also good armor. Tzeentch just really struggle against armor, right? So they're struggling to take down these units. I mean, they've got 80 armor, they can kite, decent range. Yeah, they do pretty well. And then of course, you know, you've got chariots as well with decent armor. So the Medusa's not necessarily needed per se, and it's quite expensive for what it brings to the battlefield, especially when I want a little bit more of a kite element. Fine, haven't been here for ages. Yeah, man, it's been a while. Also, I've been up and down with streaming a bit with work and stuff, but I'm trying to keep going. Why not the artillery piece for Dark Elves? Mobility, basically. The artillery is good. We can certainly ask afterwards what the guys think. I think that you're going to get more damage value from your Scourge Runners than you are artillery pieces. Especially in taking down cavalry, etc. And then also, with artillery, you have a fixed point that you have to work around because it becomes your slowest unit. Here, everything is rather mobile. So, of course, 33 speed for the infantry. It'll be like 23 for your Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower to move. So you'll be pinned around that point, and it can be pretty easy to take down with, say, a Searing Doom or something like that. How good is Blue Fire versus Cold One Riders? Pretty decent. Takes out quite a few models. Although I tend to use the Blue Fire more on the Scourge Runner chariots. It tend to be where I go with that. So in the sky, we have the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch. Interesting pick. I quite like this one. We are going to have the Paragon of Change. So that's going to be increasing that barrier as well. And that barrier replenishment. We are going to have Blue Fire, Pink Flyer, and then also the ability here, the Sword of Change, which comes with a 1 spawn summon. Good range from the Soul Grinder, so 250, so no net. I do think Karios is quite decent, especially with Soul Grinders, because you have regrowth, you have nets, Blue Fire still. Pink Fire is okay. Could be used quite nicely here up against the Black Arc Hambos, because of course they have that Warp Flame, so you know you can certainly shoot with them already having that weakness rather than imbuing that weakness. But yeah, how are you guys doing? How are you guys finding this particular matchup? For those that don't know, myself with the ODM guys are going to be going through we'll go through as many matchups as we can. There's over like 500 unique matchups, and there's just so many to go through. So last Friday we did Chaos versus Skaven. This week we're going to do Dark Elves versus Tzeentch. And then next Friday, we'll do a different matchup with different factions. You know, we might do like Nurgle Khorne, for example, or, you know, we'll pick a matchup that's going to be, you know, very interesting and unique, and just kind of break it down for you all so you can see kind of the inner workings of this matchup. So we can see a good hold here from Tzeentch. Soul Grinder is coming forward. What's he going to be targeting? He's actually going to be targeting Malekith. So Malekith's going to do the Juki. No shots yet. There's only 10 in total. Bit of fire coming at the top here for the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. As of course there's going to be triple Blackheart Hambos coming forward, including the K-Knight Assassin, who is actually going to be having the Assassin's Trophy. So if we dive down here with the Lord Choice, which, you know, he's pretty good in combat, but, you know, we are going to be having that debuff there with the K-Knights. He also has the Web of Shadows for the slow and also that damage. Really good at reducing that shield. So it looks like we're going to be trying to kite a little bit here as the Forces of Chaos. Lovely bolt there in the front against the Marauders of Tzeentch, so that shield is going to go rather quickly. We do see in the sky running away with Malekith rather smartly. That pink flame coming forward from the Blazing Squealers. Good damage up against the Black Arcs. Blue firing at the front, and Yeah, I didn't see what else that was there. You can see one Scourge Runner coming around the corner, lots of shots going down to the Scourge Runners. We can see that the Soul Grinder is going to be tapping in and against this Chariot. So Blue Flame over the top, doing damage up against the Blink Swords. Of course, they have those silver shields, but, you know, only 30 armor. Marauders charging forward. These bad boys going to thump in the front line. Lovely stuff there. Blue Flame coming over the top as well. Malekith is going to be diving into the back. This is a bold choice from Hanadins. Maybe trying to bait something out here. Marauder Cav coming forward. And they'll get the good old scoot and shoot here. This is where that net can be really devastating against Malekith. Blue Horrors on one flank. They're going to be shooting here up against the Cold One Knights. And, you know, lots of armor, good shields as they charge through. Yeah, it's pretty Dark Elf favoured as well here on land battles as well, must be said. In the sky, we do see that Malekith is now going to be dueling up against the Lord Choice. It's going to be Assassin's Trophy, the Web of Shadows as well for that slow. And Malekith is coming in for the kill. Malekith is going to be trying to get hold here, but 105 speed is going to get away here from the 90th Malekith. Ooh, and it's going to be Blue Flame. Blue Flame here coming up against the Cavalry. And you can see there, pretty damn good damage. Down to 37 models. Charging in with the Chaos Knights with Lancers. Only one unit brought today. We also do catch the Hambos. Banter Pattern is going to be favouring the faction of Tzeentch for the first time that we've seen so far. Rem really getting in, but of course we have Malekith. In the middle, we are going to get the Blazing Squealers getting taken down here. We're now going to charge in with the Soul Grinder, and the Blazing Squealers are going to get away here. So Cavalry pushing through in the middle. We actually have the Skirmish doing some really good damage here up against Malekith, down to 5,500 health there for him, with the Hambos in the middle. So Hambo's going to charge forward, and they're really going to try and put the pressure on top with the Marauder Horsemen. They will have that advantage, 80 armor, 70 range, but they're just going to charge into unfortunate combat, and we certainly will win here with the Hambos. 40 melee attack, thanks to also having the Murderous Prowess. In the middle, Cavalry going to be, or should we say here, the Chariot's going to be taking down the Blue Horrors. Soul Stealer in the pocket, plus also the effect spell there. I think that's bound to Malekith, which is going to be the Gaze of Malice. In the sky, still going, we are going to have the Chaos Sorcerer. And Soul Stealer going to be still popping down here on top of the Exalted Pinks. The Exalted Pinks really have taken quite a bit of damage, but as long as they've got their use of the Conduit of Infinity, their job has been done. Their job has been done. Bleak Sword's going to get charged here by the Marauder Horsemen, and looks like Black Ark Hambos in the backside still going to be firing. The K-Knight Assassin certainly could be maybe an MVP here, but Malekith is taking a lot of damage. In the back, the Cold One Knights fighting here up against the Soul Grinder, and maybe, just maybe, there could be the Dubski coming out of here from Tzeentch. Good charge at the back up against the Hambos. Still moving around here in the Marauder Horseman and Tzeentch. Really well done here by Rem. Really suffered in that first game. Harpies, I thought it was a bit of a weird pick. Not gonna lie to you, I thought Harpies really were quite a strange one. But, you know, obviously we have an idea behind the Harpies. Cold War Knights just getting shot to death here by just mass cavalry that really have lasted quite well. And there you can see it's going to be a mass breaking route in the middle. Blue Flame in the middle, just targeting up against Malekith. But you really have to overcast that. Really want to be overcasting that blue fire just to get that extra AP value going up against the big lord himself. Charging in with the Lord Choice, bit of an interesting one here. Of course, seeing Malekith rather low. And it looks like Malekith is going to be going down here. 1.5k there for him. Does he have a Soul Stealer in the back pocket? Maybe. Maybe, I'm not too sure. We are going to get the Pinks and the Cavalry shooting here. Maybe even having, yeah, Assassin's Trophy activated. But that is going to be army losses. GG's well played here to Rem with a very, very interesting win. Good stuff. So, what was the deciding factor here? 1,000 value for the Chaos Sorcerer. 1.3 for the Soul Grinder. 1.2 there for the Chaos Knights with Lances. 1.3 for the Blazing Squealers. 430, 600 for the Chaos Warriors. 650, 700, 600 for the Marauders. With 500, 780 there for the Blue Horrors. 260, 200, 150 there for the Marauders. And Malekith at 1.5. I think the K-Knight, interesting choice. 330 there for him. 498 from the Cold Ones. I think losing the Scourge Runners is certainly a bit of a problem. Anyway, let's have that chat. All right, gents, GG's.
GG.
GG.
What was the what? Let's start with you, Hanadins. What was the overall thought there of the matchup?
I think Rem ID works pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the error pink horror is harder to kill than what people think, and then what you might think.
Yeah, they're very decent melee combatants, right?
Yes, they
Yeah.
have
48 melee
48
defense,
melee
so they
defense.
hold for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I was able to kill them, but it costed me some
My
HP on my
teeth.
lords.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Was there anything on your side in your build that you were like, I wish I'd had more of this, or I wish I didn't take that?
Honestly, no. I just think I should have played better the Cold Knights. Cause they were a bit at the beginning they were kind of like I don't have anything to do, and then they
Yeah.
died
Mm-hmm.
when I needed them. So yeah, it's more the way I played it probably than the build.
Okay.
Sure.
And is there anything from you, Rem, that you saw in some of the changes you've made now compared to your first game? Was there any changes that you've had that you liked?
I mean, the Soul Grinder is pretty nice because I don't have to commit, you know.
Yeah.
Like I change the dynamic of the game. And this alone is pretty interesting.
And what about the Blazing Squealers?
Well, they did 1200 value, so
Mhm.
I'm pretty satisfied with them. Especially considering that I actually did not like micro them a lot. I told them to shoot a bit at Corsair, and then when I saw Malekith jump on them, I was like, sure. I just sent my Javelin Cav to
Attack him, right?
Yeah, to back them up. They were a bit of a trap. Like, it wasn't intended to be a trap, but it worked up as a trap. So I'm pretty satisfied with them.
Yeah, so...
Also, I was able to give ammunition back to the Soul Grinder.
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
Some extra
Yeah.
shot. It was pretty nice too.
Yeah, I guess it can also be quite useful for the Marauder Horsemen as well, right? So if you manage to catch them all, that can be really valuable.
Yeah.
Because of course, you know, the Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch are just a big part. Hey, Lippy, how you doing, buddy? It's going pretty well, thank you. Going really well. Of course, you know, the Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch are certainly a big part in the Tzeentch roster. And also catching the Soul Grinder, which is really important to this key matchup. I think having that extra ammo, even though it's only once, it's still really handy.
Yeah, it needs like 4 or 5 ammo to the Soul Grinder, something like that. And it's pretty valuable because it's basically 40% of its ammo.
I have this feeling I can't dodge the shoot of the Soul Grinders as well.
Yeah, it tracks you
Yeah.
bit. It's a bit like the Luminarch, you know, it home a little bit on its target.
They have really
So
good velocity as well. Like it's really straight, really true, and also can be like, especially like with that really light blue, can be like or slash light purple. Could be really hard to see sometimes if you're not like really paying attention. But I also thought that you know, the other thing that also came interesting to me. I don't know if the Blues have it. Do the Blues have it? Where are they? Where's the Blue Horrors? There they are. Oh, they do have the physical resistance.
Yes, all the demons have.
Yeah. So yeah, I was wondering maybe a little bit more armor, maybe a little bit more physical resistance as well might be quite helpful for the pink horrors, right? Just dealing with some of that kite from the Black Ark Hambos. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I think the Blazing Squealers are actually more important there than it might have been perceived in the matchup, right? They were that cornerstone in the middle that was holding it all together, plus giving extra ammunition. And I actually think they dealt with the Hambos really nicely.
Yeah, they are a solution for sure.
All right. So why don't you guys swap sides? Dark Elves for Rem, and then Hanadin's coming in with Tzeentch. And then we'll
do that.
And then we'll break it down for both you guys.
Okay.
And also the Lord choice change. Did you find that was good for you, Rem? Did you find that was the way to go with that?
Oh, it was annoying.
It was cheap. So it was the main goal here to have a Lord that allows me to play the rest of the army.
He also is like a better melee combatant, right, than the regular Herald of Tzeentch.
Yes. But I didn't took him really for the melee, it's a bonus. The idea is that he's cheap. He will help me in the front line. He can summon a quick spawn unit in the Corsair or something like this.
Yeah.
Like combined with the two warriors, the cool thing about it is that I don't win the front line, but I don't lose it either. Like he makes some breakthrough, but I do too. And it's just that is good enough, because if I entirely lose the front line, then I have a lot of chaff to get rid of, and I don't have the tools for this. Aside a unit of knight, but they are pretty bothered currently at killing Malekith on cold ones.
Right. So, okay, looks like you're looking pretty good there. Hanadins.
I'm ready, but I have AFK to take. It's top 10.
Okay. Well, I'll mute up with Rem, and then we'll see. We'll have a chat with you with your ideas.
Yeah, be right back.
No problem. So it looks like here for Hanadins, he's going to be going with the Chaos Lord of Tzeentch really cheap. So of course 1.5k, sort of change, pink fire, blue fire again. We're also going to get the Weird Spawn. So the Weird Spawn of course going to have the armor sundering, magic damage, unbreakable, physical resistance, plus also going there with the barrier, which is going to be quite interesting. Hey Rakeshan, how you doing? And Dog, welcome my dude, how are you? How's the matchup look? The matchup's very interesting. It seems 60-40 Dark Elf favoured. But we're really seeing some interesting play from... So, for example, if you take the chariots from Dark Elves, the Scourge Runners, the counter to Scourge Runners seems to be pretty consistently. You can just take one Soul Grinder, and they do pretty well there. I wanted to play, but hotfix broke my game. Oh no, that sucks. That sucks. Yeah, and I think the Soul Grinder does really quite well in this matchup. I think the Pink Horrors also offer quite a nice element to this game. I'm doing good, Dodgy, but yeah, I'm doing really well, thanks, dude. Doing really well. Doing really well, thank you very much. So in this matchup, I think the Black Oak Corsair Hambos are a big problem for Tzeentch. So you need something dedicated to deal with those. You need something dedicated to deal with tanky lords, such as Malus and Malekith. Also the heavily armored cavalry. So for example, if you take, where are they? The Cold One Knights are a bit of a problem. I don't know if Cold One Dread Knights would be any different. Possibly. Maybe they're just too expensive. You just don't... Yeah, I don't wonder if Cold One Dread Knights would be any different. 90 to 120 armor would be significant for sure. But anyway, yeah, the front line's pretty decent as well for Dark Elves, right? So they challenge up against the majority of Tzeentch. So it's dealing with chariots, dealing with heavy armored cavalry, heavy armored skirmish of Black Ark Corsairs is the problem. But you can deal with that quite nicely with Tzeentch if you have Soul Grinders, and then we also bring in the Exalted Pinks.
Alright, I'm back.
Nice. So we actually a bit of a question for you. Of course, you're going to be playing Tzeentch. How would you feel about the Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch? Decent range, 150 range, really decent armor piercing as well. How would you feel about that?
What's the purpose of having it? What do you? I mean, what do you want to kill?
So this is just a question from the chat, but
yeah.
I guess maybe its range could be used to take down. So if you think about the matchup, maybe dealing with Black Ark Hambos could be used to maybe challenge Malekith if he comes too close, or maybe any other lords.
Against Black Ark Corsairs, it might be a thing, but I think for the same price, almost the same price, you have the blazing squares.
Yes.
And if you want to kill Malekith, you probably have to have a flamer, the usual one, and Chaos with a net. So you can try to trap Malekith a bit and net him down.
Yeah, and then try and just blast him.
Yeah, with them. So if you want to kill infantry, they can be it can be good, but not I mean, you have other tools, and if you want to kill single entities, bring the normal unit. The only thing the Exotic Flamer has is that you can easily micro saving, protecting, dodge missiles and such.
Yeah, he's not
But
slow.
you can less deal with Flamers.
You got 50 speed, so you can do some
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good dodge. But that melee defense is really poor, right? Like 12 for the regular flamers, and the exalted is 20, which is.
Yeah, they are not there to fight in melee for sure.
But any cavalry or anything like that catches them, they're pretty. They get burnt out pretty quickly.
Yeah, you need to play them. You need to have a blue horror near them, so you can. I mean, they can stay in the blue horror and still fire without trouble. Yeah, that's a good way to protect them. But yeah, they don't have the same speed, so the blue horror might be not able to follow the flamers.
So 2 more questions for you. First one from Ponus. Welcome, dude. Hope you're doing really well. Black Hawk Corsair Hambos, best skirmish infantry in the game. Yes or no?
That's a good question. Actually, I mean, it depends if you count only 360 infantry, which there is not that much.
So you got let's think about it. You have like Skaven skirmish infantry.
Yeah, you have the Skaven one, and basically.
Well, I think probably maybe the best is the Shadow Warriors, maybe.
I mean,
Stalk,
it's
Vanguard,
it's the only one with armors, with good armor.
Yeah, this is true.
So they are the best at staying alive. To make damage, they are not the best. Their range actually is pretty trash. But yeah, you exchange a bit of the mage, and you have armor. But if you compare, for example, with the Wood Elves, it's not the same level of killing things.
Yeah, so for example, like I guess also we have to take value into consideration as well, right? Because otherwise, if you say like Deepwood Scouts, or you say like for example the Regiment Renowned with -16 leadership, bucketloads of armor piercing for their elite skirmish.
Yeah.
If you compare it to 650 gold for heavily armored Black Hawk Corsair Hambos, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you will rather take the. I mean, for example, you don't want to take the Deepwood either. I mean, Deepwood maybe, but not the Way Watchers against Tzeentch. Just because Blue Fire is very nasty at them.
Right.
And that's. In fact,
so
that's incredible.
Let's go through your army then. So you changed it up a little bit. Double pinks, weird spawn, double screamers, triple marauder horsemen, some blues, and then the Chaos Lord of Tzeentch. Any reason for some of these changes?
Well, Chaos Lord is there for the summon and for being cheap. The error spawn, so I have terror actually. And physical resist and some mass, and I can if I hit a thing, I can shoot it with the horrors. I have the -40 armor that I talked earlier. And yeah, a lot of infantry. The blues actually will be on the flanks, so you can counter the Dark Rider and the cavalry play. And the screamers and the skirmish cav will be in front and behind my line, and the 2 pings at the back line as well.
Very nice, very nice. All right, well I'll hop over with Rem, and then actually it's very interesting. Okay, good that he's done this. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. So I was about to ask this. So, hey Rem, how you doing?
Still well.
So Cold One Dread Knights is actually something I was going to ask. So of course, Tzeentch being tough to deal with the Cold One Knights, but I was discussing Cold One Dread Knights. That extra 30 armor, 120, is really a different category of armor. Talk to us about Cold One Dread Knights and seeing their value in this matchup.
I mean, I mainly want to test them, to be honest. So we will see. But I know from other matchups, like versus Lizard Men, they're pretty good at just charging in the front line on piercing it. And they are still good unit in cavalry engagement, so I don't lose too much on that side.
And
So
why no
it will-
ROR? Why no weapon kill?
Cost, yeah, mainly cost, sadly.
Okay. A lot of people
And like
think they're a bit
it's
of
a
a meme.
big. No, they are not. I like them actually, but not in this matchup where you have a lot of range everywhere that you can't really deal with easily. But it's a good unit.
Nice. All right, well, we're going to pop into the game. I'll be very interested to see how your Core 1 Dreadnought is. That's something I was talking to chat about. That's something I'll be very interested to see.
Me too, actually. Like, my only fear is that if it took, for any reason, Alberts, it won't be great.
You got lucky by the looks. You got lucky.
Already? Cool then.
All right, I'll see you after. All right, so we're into it now. Possibly, hey, Everchicken, how you doing? Yeah, no problem at all. No problem at all. That's why I do these, right? You know, so you guys can, you know, certainly try and learn quite a lot on a weekly basis about factions and matchups that you didn't know before. I'm extremely interested to see how so we've also got Dark Riders for the mobility, but the Cobalt Dread Knights are a little bit slow, right? 66 speed, but they have 120 armor with shields. Lots of armor piercing, really good stats, good leadership, and they do have the primal instincts. So as soon as they go below 50% HP, they get charge bonuses, melee attack bonuses, physical resistance bonuses, which physical resistance is not too good against Chaos, but still. Front line, we've gone with the Marauders and some of the Chaos Warriors. We have some blues in behind as well, Skirmish Cavalry, the Weird Spawn, and then something else I really wanted to see, which is the Screamers. Really cheap. It seems to be this is the Lord choice here, the Chaos Lord of Tzeentch. It seems to be him for the most part. Pink Flame, Blue Flame, sort of change. Just having that summon in the pocket is really useful. 4 units of the Blackout Corsair Handbows for a bit of a kite. I'm just going to go for a bit of a rush push here. So actually, the Chariots maybe not so useful, perhaps. Going to try and train later tonight. Very nice stuff. Good man, Logic, helping me with the Beastman. Yeah, man, yeah. Been doing well. I've been helping Everchicken with the vampire account. So for anybody that is interested, Rickchan and Everchicken, and there's also a few others, are my students. So I coach them and try and make them better in multiplayer. So if you guys are looking for some coaching, do feel free to hit me up. I do. Essentially, we would just agree a time where we do an hour, maybe 2 hours, where we come together. And I try and coach you through matchups, try and coach you through play styles, game understanding, all these sorts of things, right? I appreciate that, Rachel. I appreciate that, man. So the interesting thing here, the Blackout Corsair Handbows, they're going to win in this matchup, even with the armor reduction here from the Warp Flame, right? Negative 10 armor still only brings them down to 70, and there's just not enough missile strength here to really fight. So you can see they're going to back off against 4 of the Black Ark Corsair Handbows. Handbows now going to shoot in the sky. Got to be careful there. You know, you see chip damage really coming out. It's going to be Blue Flame down the line, so it should be really nice damage. Oh, look at that bend as well. One of them down to nearly half health, so losing about 45% is really good there from the Blue Flame, just showing how powerful it really can be. Following that up with a pink would have been really nice. Charging forward here, now going to be a bit of a kite with the Black Ark Corsair Handbows, and if you're not careful here, you're now going to be fighting up against the 90 range of the Blue Horrors. So it's going to be a very interesting kind of skirmish engagement here. We are going to get the Dread Spears and the Bleak Swords charging forward. Sorcerer is going to be moving around. Malekith doesn't quite have the mobility to catch up, but he's going to have most of the toolkit here, including the Chilled Wind. So Rem is going to come forward. Hanadin's just going to be holding with the infantry, the Chaos Warriors in the backside. Hambo still kiting a little bit into the distance here. In the middle here, we do have the Weird Spawn, so they'll be charging forward, Armor Sundering, plus then also the Warp Flame going to be reducing by an extra 10 armor. So that's negative 40 armor. They can do really well. You can see Cold Dread Knights in the middle. They're going to be careful with being pinned here in the middle for a little bit too long. They don't really want to stay around. They'll just take too much damage over time. Really want to get in, cycle charge, get as much of that AP damage. You see one coming around the corner here, and certainly want to get these in the back doing all the damage where they can. In the sky, the Tzeentch caster just going to be holding here, maybe waiting in front of the blue flame to get down the line here of the Blackout Corsair Hambos. Dark Rider should come round through here, maybe try and see if we can compromise some of the Marauder Horsemen. They will be a little bit faster, but, you know, of course they're going to get skirmished for all their troubles. In the middle, the Dreadspear is going to be pushing through up against the Weirspawn. Weirspawn really do not want that engagement. Blue Flame going to be actually catching a lot of his own Marauders. They were trying to target the Cold War Dreadknights, but actually just not enough damage there. Also, Malekith fighting up against the Chaos Warriors, a bit of a melee mash here in the middle. Malekith is looking dangerous. Definitely going to be only seeing some Blue Flames fighting there. The Lord Choice is now getting in the mixture in the middle, trying to see if we can hold off a lot of the Dreadspears. Those bonuses large there for the Dreadspears could do some good work up against the Weirspawn, but they have so much weapon strength. 160 per unit is going to shred through the lightly armoured infantry at the front. Pink and Blue Flame going to be firing up against the Blackout Corsair Hambo. Should see some pink boys here in the back somewhere. How are the pink boys doing? So one of the blues here in the back. Where are the pinks? Blue Horror in the front. I actually can't see the pinks. Maybe the pinks are in the back here. One blue there. Maybe the pinks have been dealt with here. It's two in the middle actually here. Just two in the middle pocket. Weirspawn is actually going to be holding some of the mash, keeping the cavalry away from the pinks. Pinks certainly have a lot more AP. So if we go here with a pink horror, they're going to be coming down with 5 armor piercing compared to, I think, 2 of the blue horrors. So blue actually trying to save yet again firing here up against the Cold One Knights, but actually catching a lot of the blue horrors there in the fire. And we do see the Hambos coming forward. Balance of power really even, 3,100 for Hanadins up against 2.4 here for the Dark Elves. In the middle, Bleak Sword's going to be trying to protect as much of the Hambos as possible as the Warriors come forward, but the Chaos Warriors are going to be really difficult for the Bleak Swords to take down. That armor coming in at 100 with the Silver Shields is a bit of a nightmare here for the Hambos to deal with. In the sky, Malekith is taking quite a bit of damage. He probably has a Soul Stealer or 2 in the back pocket left here. No, he did. Oh, he did take Soul Stealer, yeah. So he's probably going to have a Soul Stealer to heal up here or there. But in the sky, the Screamer's going to be diving down, and they're going to be a very good anti-large armor-piercing counter up against the Cold One Dreadknights. Big fan of these bad boys. They're very good against factions such as the Ogre Kingdoms. In the middle here, Dreadspear's charging forwards. Marauder Horsemen here going to dive away. Of course, they have that mobility to get away from the infantry as they fire in the front up against the Hambos. Hambos also trying to counter fire. That's what's really nice about the mobility of the Marauder Horsemen and that barrier. If you keep that barrier nice and high, it's really good indeed. It really can help you counter kite up against the Blackout Corsair Hambos. Hambos in the middle here going to be firing up against the Chaos Warriors. You really need to take these units down as quickly as possible. You'll lose all the tank here of the army of Tzeentch. Tzeentch is still going to be kiting. They really will have the kite effect here because, of course, you're not going to be having... That is a beautiful blue flame there down the line of the Blackout Corsair Hambos. But, you know, losing the skirmish from the chariots is really important. The Scorch Runners really do offer a good range advantage for the Dark Elves. And it looks like we're going for more of a push, but the Cold One Dreadknights really have been taken down rather quickly. 1,100 here from the Chaos Sorcerer Lords. And it looks like Malekith 25 kills, 670, and he's going to be taking quite a bit of damage for 3,000 gold value. It's very, very interesting to see that he's actually not performing as well as you might think. Pinks are going to be charging away here, really not wanting any of that. Blue Flame going to be just missing there up against Malekith, of course, getting that up and down motion from landing and flying again, so good stuff there. And in the middle, Breath Attack going down up against the Weirspawn. Weirspawn down to 1.6, 7 models left. That armor sundering off the battlefield as well will be really nice. Hambos going to be firing. I think they're trying to shoot here up against the Chaos Lord. I think you just need to, I mean, a little bit of damage there, but nothing really too much to write home about. You definitely want to be taking on the 3 cavalry here where you can. You need to keep them off Malice, and you need to keep them off the remainder of your build. Dread Knight's probably going to get pushed off here to the white line, and they'll be off the edge of the map. Pink Horrors still have lots of ammunition left, and Pink Horrors really will kite quite nicely up against the Blackout Corsair Hambos. Blue Flame here down the line, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, what we'd like to call a gorgeous spell here in the middle. That is absolutely fantastic. That is, see you later, Mr. Hambos. Thank you very much for playing. That's some really nice stuff. Soul Sealer in the middle, that's going to heal there for Malekith, do some really good damage, reduce that shield and do permanent damage up against a lot of the Screamers here and the Skirmish Cavalry. In the pocket, the Chaos Warriors, not looking too healthy, 2,100 health for them, and 46 models, but they'll get back into the fight and they'll do pretty well. Hambo's going to be fighting, charging in here with the Cavalry, of course running out of ammunition, getting those charge bonuses, and the Cavalry can still fight relatively well in combat. Not insane, but they'll do well. Pinks now probably want to start focusing on Malekith. If we start leaving it too late, Malekith will become a problem. Bit of a shotgun spell there from the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. Arcane Surge also being used. Malekith going to dive into combat here, up against maybe the Weird Spawn. No, looks like he's going to be charging up against the Marauder Horseman of Tzeentch, and a good terror route here in the middle. That's actually going to turn into a break, and Malekith just wants to push. They're right on the corner here of the white line, and we're going to be pushing these bad boys off to the edge. Hambo's getting broken, and it looks like in the backside it's going to be a shatter for the Cold One Dread Knights as they move off here. And I think here, really nicely, is going to be the implementation of the Screamers. Screamers 220, not too much. 35, oh no, maybe not then. Maybe it's not the Screamers that did the damage. We'll have to see after what they did quite well. 1.5k for the Lord Choice. Pinks, where are we looking at those guys? 430 for one of them. Roller Horseman, 660. So it looks like it's going to be a bit of a shared effort here. A bit of a shared effort. 290 there for the Chaos Warriors. It's starting to look a little bit bleak here for the Chaos. Still going to be kiting with the Pink Horrors. Diving forward with the Blackheart Corsair Hambos. Dread Spears will do really nicely up against the Screamers. But running out of ammunition here is starting to become a bit of a problem for Tzeentch. Hambo's going to be chasing. These boys can also do pretty well in combat. 33 on 29 with decent armor as well. Blue Flame is going to be hitting Malekith. Overcasting that is going to be infinitely better if you can, I think. But of course, there may be some others that agree there from a mana perspective. But it looks like the Lord Choice is now going to be wanting to take on that fight. So Arcane Surge going down again, giving more mana reserve, as well as power recharge rate, trying to get some more of those blue flames. And this can be the problem with Malekith. Malekith is huge, Screamers in the sky, and now it's going to be the fight of the ages. So we do see here really nice Soul Sealer, maybe a bit of a bait there, coming forward from Rem, trying to do all the damage you can up against those Screamers. So lots and lots of damage indeed. But now the Pinks are going to be firing in. Hanadin has got and literally picked up the kitchen sink and lobbed it at Malekith and said, Malekith, take that to the face, and trying to see if he can take him down where and if possible. But Malekith with that terror, we just need to dive the Lord in here. We need something else to come to the battlefield. But it looks like most of the balance of power is single-handedly going to be on the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. Which is insane to think about. I mean, lots of ammo for the Pink Horrors, perhaps. 38 speed going up against 40 speed here for the Hambos. Hambos will chase. Screamers are going to be fighting. I think the Lord Choice is going to have to try and slow down the Black Ark so we can get some more. There we go. So he's going to dive in. Oh, love that. Frostbite coming down up against the Pinks so the Hambos can stay in that melee combat range and fight here. But it's like the Lord Choice is really trying, but he just doesn't have that terror that you have here for Malekith. Malekith is on his own though. Could we get the Jewel of the Ages? A couple of big hits. Breath Attack. Yeah, a bit of a shot on miss there. Do we have a Blue Flame? 8.4 for Hanadin's up against 8.1 there for Rem. A super close game. One Blue Flame could be all the difference. In the middle of the Chaos Cavalry is going to be coming back. Malekith really trying to land here. That's a very quick land and fly again. That charge bonus, he actually gets to the side, but the wings are going to catch him. And a big hit there. So we are probably going to have to try and turn and fight. No, it's going to be a miss as he scoots away. And I think he's going to be trying to get away here for a Blue Flame. Hambo's in the back, and it looks like we're trying to charge with the Marauder Horseman. I actually wouldn't mind fighting in here. If we manage to break a unit, we could see a mass rout here from the pocket. Now it's going to be a pink flame down the middle. Lovely stuff there coming forward from Hanadin's. Really, really doing some good stuff. And now it's going to be the epic duel in the sky. So Arcane Surge going again here for the Chaos Sorcerer. And we're going to try and fight. So it's going to be 58 on 72 thanks to the Stand Your Ground. With the Chaos Sorcerer of Tzeentch was 48 on 44. Weapon strength is not huge. 520 there for Malekith. And there we go, balance of power now pulling across. I mean, this is a ridiculous amount of balance of power here for the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. 48 melee defense now here for Malekith. 1 or 2 just rolls of the dice really could bring this match back. But I think maybe that is going to be it. Nothing here on the battlefield. I don't think we're going to see a return here from the Marauder Horsemen. It's going to be an epic fight up to the end. It looks like actually Rem now takes the lead. 8.9 up against 8.6 there for Hanadins. It looks like we're actually going to land here with Malekith. Oh, Blue Flame Shotgun in the face. Lovely stuff. He needs to land here though. So that's actually going to be maybe a break here for the Hambos. If we break with the Hambos, we could see a mass rout here in the middle. But it is going to allow Malekith to come in and fight. So we are going to be fighting with an epic duel here towards the end. It's going to be, yeah, we can see here a few units actually breaking and maybe causing a bit of a rout and break here. Malekith is looping super low. If Malekith actually breaks here, maybe. Maybe, just maybe. Malekith 2,100 up against 1,900 here for the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. 1.4. Malekith at 2.1. There we go. Nice hit there on Malekith. Come on, a couple of rolls of the dice here for the Chaos Tzeentch Lord. Do it! Do it for the people! 1.2 up against 1.8. And there we go. That's going to be Ominosis. Well, you know, it was close. It was really close. And that was a really cool matchup. So that's going to be a 3-1 victory here for Tzeentch going up against... Dark Elves going up against Tzeentch. But that one was very close. 2,500 for the Chaos Lord of Tzeentch. Very nice stuff. 816 from the Weird Spawn. With 760, 200 for the Pink Horrors. We are going to see 280, 600, 180, and 130 there for the Blue Horrors. With 120 for the Marauders. 170, 84... 360, 520 there from the Chaos Warriors, 600, 600 from the Screamers, 900, 900, and then 725 from the Marauder Horsemen. 2.6 for Malekith, 700, 980 there for the Cold One Dread Knights, 900, 680, 700, 130 there for the Black Ark Corsair Hambos, 250 for one of the Dark Riders, 580, 130, and 270 there for the Dread Spears, 600, 500, 300, and 230 for the Blake Swords. Well, GG's, gents. GG's. That was a super close game.
That was a nice one.
Yeah.
I was just annoying him at the end, like I knew I didn't have a chance, but
Yeah. You can thank Vigor for this, like poor Malekith not having enough melee attack to actually hit you.
yeah.
Yeah.
But my Malekith is a coward.
But
I would say what I can say. This is what I can say after this game.
So how do you feel? So obviously a big change for the Dark Elves. We saw. How did you find the Cold One Dread Knights?
They were good. I mean, they didn't do a lot of value, but like there were a lot of chaff to kill, so it's not surprising. Also, his spawn summon on the weird spawn were very annoying because I can't fight them. They take too long to kill, and I need cavalry to basically win their fight fast.
Yeah.
To keep the momentum of the game going. Otherwise, I will just get shot to pieces. So yeah, they were decent. I kinda want to saw me in a parallel universe where I have classic cold ones instead to see how it performs.
So how did you find having 4 Black Ark Corsair Hambos rather than having the Skirmish Chariots?
It felt pretty good. They
Would you have
did a
liked the
lot of them.
Chariots? Would you have liked to have them?
Honestly, here maybe, but since I already had the heavy cavalry to do all the charging and disruption, I probably did not need the chariot.
So what about you, Hanadins? How did you feel about the change in the Dark Elf build, obviously having no Skirmish Chariots, 4 Hambos instead, and actually, how did you find fighting up against the Cold One Dread Knights?
Well, the Dread Knight were nice actually because they needed a lot of tools
A
from
lot of
me
value
to
to
kill
kill.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't, I had more value killing them than their actual value.
Yeah.
So it was nice. Yeah, the Corsair were good, and I kind of like a good solution against them.
They weren't good enough to kill the weird spawn. Like they shot a lot to them,
Yeah,
but
they have a lot of health and a lot of barrier,
Yeah,
right?
I made a weird spawn cycle at the beginning.
yeah, I
So
saw it. But still, like when they shot volley in it, it wasn't that impressive.
yeah,
Um,
I guess.
we can see a weakness to the Corsair is that they are also weak to blue fire.
Yes, they are.
That
As you
was some
saw
really
us
nice blue
as you show
fire.
us with blue fire midlifing one. And
Yep.
like it's actually hard to react. I saw it coming. I tried to move them, but they were just too slow and they took the
Yeah, yeah,
midlife.
it's
And
hard to.
what in your army would you have changed Hanadin's to like? What did you like? What would you have changed? What do you think could have certainly made the matchup a little bit different?
Mm, I'm not sure. Because there is other tools that can be good as
Mhm.
well.
How did you find the screamers?
But it will change my completely my build, so I don't know. Screamer were good, honestly. They were a very good threat to the cav, and
I thought they were good threats to Malekith as
potentially
well.
potentially good annoying to Malikita as well.
Mhm.
Though the last I made a mistake at the end, when I had the Lord and the two screamers coming back at Malekith and then getting Suicidator, I should have only worked one. Because actually 2 units are in melee don't have more DPS than one against single entities because you have the models blobbing around the units,
Right.
but
Okay.
every models can't hit it. I just got finished by the Soulstealer.
Yes. Yes.
But they were good, yeah. Something to consider for sure.
So I know you guys got a tournament in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So let's discuss the matchup as a whole. Let's kind of like tie this off. It seems to be, my opinion is maybe 60% Dark Elf favored against 40% Tzeentch,
Maybe, yeah.
or maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less.
I would
Maybe a bit
say
less.
I would keep 50-50, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was an interesting 3-1 victory to Dark Elves. I think there's a lot of things you can take both sides. So when people are playing either side at home, let's start with the Dark Elf perspective. What units are key for the matchup, and what things you need to think about as the Dark Elf player?
Well, the Lord first, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to keep in mind that you need a silver shield in front.
Yep.
And you need skirmish units probably to avoid some cheese of Tzeentch.
Yep.
And you pretty much already have the army.
Okay, so we're thinking. So Malekith was brought every time. He seems to be the standard pick Lord.
I
Yeah.
wanted to take Malus, but I realized that when you take Malus, you have a
Lord,
mage that is very
yeah.
squishy, and the mage will just get blue fire. So Malus is good, but the mage that will have to go along with him is probably a very bad idea.
Yes, because then that caster is just going to get blue fired to death, right?
Yes.
So having Malekith gives you that tanky caster that also has breath attacks, can fight really well in melee combat. Soul Stealer can heal. He's just an absolute animal, right? Yep. So front line of like Bleak Swords, Dread Spears with silver shields. Also, do you know why Dread Spears have more armor than Bleak Swords in Warhammer 3?
Because of a patch note, but the true reason is I don't know. Maybe they wanted them to be a bit more defensive focused that they already were.
It's
Yeah.
kind of the
Besides
same
those
with Ogre's shield. Like
Yeah.
they
you got
get
extra
extra
armor.
armor. But you don't feel the difference, honestly, I think.
So,
I mean, 30 to 40 is it?
Yeah.
So we'll say the main
something like-
focus points here for the Dark Elves are Lord choice. So we'll say Malekith, Blackout Corsair Hambos are really important for the counter skirmish. Maybe even Scourge Runner Chariots, and then Cold One Knights.
Yeah, Cold One I should probably need at least one. So in this order, I will say Malekith, Handbows, Chariots. No, front lane into Chariots.
Yep.
On the rest is whatever.
Okay, and here's a quick question. The Bolt Fiends obviously have added range. They have 145 range. Of course, you can't skirmish with them so well, but that added range is quite nice. You know, it's plus 20 range compared to the Dark Shards. Do they have any place here?
They will just get Pink Fire, I fear. Even Blue Fire can midlife them.
Yeah.
So you have all of this skirmish cavalry. If the guy somehow takes the Doom Knight Arrow, he can bomb them at some point, and it's not a very mobile unit. It's not a Corsair with 46 speed and 80 armor. So it sounds good at first, but then you realize it's too vulnerable to Tzeentch.
Okay. All right. Well, let's flip it on the head. Can one of you go on to Tzeentch for me? There we go. Thanks. So now we're going to talk about the Tzeentch side of things to wrap that up. So I think the lore choice is probably the most key thing, I think, for Tzeentch. Like having a cheese, like we saw the best turnout for Tzeentch when we saw a cheap lord with pink and blue fire, I think.
Yeah, because like the Lord can't carry endlessly. It seems we still have to test the classic Lord of Change because he is actually decent in melee against Malekith.
It's very good, yeah. The Lord is deciding your army for sure, but I think as long as you have a Lord with blue fire, you'll be fine. Whatever your army, and it's often the case with Tzeentch. For the rest, you need to think. You need to think about how to counter Corsair and bows. You need to think about stopping chariots eventually.
So we saw obviously Exalted Pinks doing really well against, and even to an extent, regular Pinks doing quite well against the Exalted, against the Corsair Hambos.
Might be a thing. Yeah.
I think still my favourite play of the day was the Blazing Squealers. I think that I really liked their play in that matchup.
And more important, you need to have something to kill Malekith.
Yes. So Skirmish Cavalry can do it.
It can, but you need to bait Malekith, because if you don't bait him, the Handbows will deny you the kill.
And then, of course, with the chariots, we've also seen today that the Soul Grinder can also be a good counter against those skirmish chariots.
Yeah, on Malekith to an extent.
Yes. So I think Chaos Knights. I think one unit performed well today. The rest really suffered. I'm not sold on the Chaos Knights.
Bring them with Chaos. That is what I would say.
Okay. And then I actually quite liked the Chaos Warriors. You know, bringing one or two Chaos Warriors to help win the front line. You know, Silver Shield, good armor. I think it's actually quite a nice pick. And I think if you can take as many blue horrors as possible, I think also blue horrors are great at just doing that good chip damage as they come to the front line.
Yes. Maybe you want some 1 or 2 Forsaken as well on the flank. There is not that much AP damage. I'm just thinking about it, not testing it then.
Yeah, but Corsair can still kill them.
Yeah, it's true.
They have 3 AP, so it's not huge.
If you got a funny guy like me who likes to play Chillwind, it will become problematic.
Yeah.
That Chillwind play was really nice, actually. Yeah, I must say. But it's very interesting to see how the matchup changes when you add like Exalted Pinks and Pinks to the mixture with 130 range. It makes, if you don't have chariots, it really changes up the matchup quite a bit. How do you guys feel about burning chariots? I know they don't have much ammo, but do they have any play here?
No,
probably.
So.
Like they can duel Malekith. That's all they can do. But for this, you need them in melee, which means that you need first to be sure that you won't be facing any Scourge Runner, because they will kill them. And they got like what, 30 armor?
20, but they also have
20. Yeah, a little bit. But I'm pretty sure actually Corsair and Bows can kill them. And it's a main issue. Like this unit needs setup. You need to be first in melee, then you trigger fire at will, so they can shoot in melee at their opponent. And this is how they kill Malekith. But it's expensive, and
very
you have a
expensive,
lot of stuff to allow this setup to happen, basically. So you will need Soul Grinder, you will need extra range for the on-bows, and all of a sudden you realize that you don't have a front line anymore. So it's probably the main issue is that it's probably too expensive. Not only the unit alone, but all of the extra stuff you will need to make the unit work.
Yes. Okay, well, guys, thank you very much for today. I think that was a really good deep dive. Is there any last comments you want to make on this matchup?
It's actually pretty fun.
It looks fun. It looks fun. There's a lot,
Yeah,
lot
just-
of bits to it.
Whatever the side you are playing it, make sure you are prepared, because there is a lot of things you can do wrong actually.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for today, guys. I really appreciate that. Good luck with your tournament, and
Thanks.
hopefully we'll be back next week for another one.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully. All right. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your day.
Yeah,
See you
too.
later.
So, thank you very much to the ODM guys. Always coming on. Hopefully, we'll do another one next week. Of course, these guys, have lives, they're busy, etc. But we'll try our best to see if we can get that going. Hour and 50 today. Hopefully, we went through enough of the matchup. We've got 4 matches in total for you all, and it's a good deep dive. And what I might do is, like with the Chaos Skaven, I might also do it here with the Tzeentch Dark Elves. I might do like a very short video to kind of cap this all up for you guys. But here, of course, if you want to see a bit more of a deep dive, a bit more of a discussion, this is certainly an interesting way to look at those matchups. So if we go skirmish versus AI, if we're talking here, just to wrap it all up, if we're talking about Dark Elves, you're certainly looking at Malekith on a dragon. We're then also going to be looking at cheap infantry, Blackout Corsair handbows, and probably some level of Scourge runners. This is certainly where you're looking with Dark Riders and Cold Ones. This is the mixture of the matchup that you're looking at that can certainly give you the advantage against Tzeentch. If we go on the flip side with Tzeentch, I think it's really important. You need to justify your lore choice. I think having a really cheap Tzeentch caster with blue fire. So even if you just went blue fire, right? You just went super cheap blue fire. You don't need anything apart from the Sword of Change, and you go on a disc. You make him like uber cheap, like uber cheap. You bring an absolute minimalistic build. You can see here he's 1600 just with the. I think they also brought pink, but yeah, we could bring both of those. 1600 gold cost is super cheap with really good returns. We saw 2.5k to 3k value from these guys, which is insane. It's insane value. Then you're looking at some level of Blue Horrors, Chaos Warriors. I really like the Blazing Squealers. I think they were quite good. We also had the Soul Grinder, Skirmish Cavalry, and the rest then after that is kind of up to you. But you're having this kind of mixture to deal with the front line. Maybe a Marauder of Tzeentch or 2 in the front as well. So I think, these are the ways that you're going to be playing Tzeentch and then also Dark Elves in this matchup. So guys, if you have any other questions in regards to this, do let me know. If you do want to see videos on this, also let me know. And I'll try and see if we can break down some stuff and maybe have a 5 to 10 minute video explaining these matchups that we've already gone through. If there's anything in particular you want to see next, do feel free to let me know. We do discuss it here, so if I don't hear anything, we discuss the matchups that they would enjoy the most and they would enjoy going through. The last thing I will say, just to reiterate the point again, I've taken on quite a few students at the moment. I've got about 4 or 5 students going constantly every week. I've still got a little bit of spare time extra as well if some others wanted to join on and do a little bit of coaching with me. We join up just like this. You give me your main factions and we practice and play. And, I send certain factions at you so you can learn how to start using that faction in multiplayer. So if that's something that may be interesting you, do feel free to let me know and give me a shout on Discord. So other than that, take care of yourself, guys. And yeah, I'll be seeing you for the next one. I'll probably be back maybe tomorrow, actually. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe try and see if we can get something going. Not too sure what that might be, but there might be something. Maybe I will just do a multiplayer live stream with me playing or something, or I'll do a King of the Hill or something like that. But any ideas, let me know. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow.